Hi and hello everyone. A special thanks I bid to our lecturer, Madam Sarifa Fazawati, and our video will share a very important things to all of you. Alright, this video will related to our topic that we choose that related some issue nowadays happen to every students. Okay. Before that, I believe that everyone loves to upload the photo on social media, but the issue is not really here. As you can see, a lot of things happen around us, especially we as a student having some a lot of problem to do our assignment and is related to one mark. And I believe that everyone having a low quality on printed images, poster or some assignment before. So you guys, do you ever realize how and why this happened? Okay, in this case we cannot put all the blame on the printing service. Our video will share with all of you the best software to guarantee a good quality of your photos and poster and some printed assignments. First, of course you have to edit it. Our topic is about the best photo editor for non-photography students. It is because we choose this because some of them might not familiar of some of the software. It might hard for them to export it and how to use it. Also, through our video, I believe you all will learn how to use a correct format and tool to get the best design and resolutions on your printed photo and assignment. So I'll go suggested two software. The first one is Adobe Photoshop and the second one is Adobe Lightroom.
Hi everyone, do you know what is Adobe Photoshop and how to use it? So, let me share with all of you about the very basic function of Photoshop. Firstly, Adobe Photoshop can do a lot of things. The number one, you can adjust the saturation of your image. For example, you can adjust the color and also you can lower the saturation if you think the image too imposing or if it looking a little pale, just increasing the saturation for a fuller look. You also can alter the highlights and shadows. This part very special, which is you can control how bright the highlights and shadows are. The reason is the highlights are the bit where the highlights the object directly, and you may tone them down a little if things look a little glary and increase the highlights of your shadows so they not look as gloomy. Lastly, you also can crop your image. For example, you can set orientation and straightness of the image, whether set it to landscape or portrait. You also can auto-adjust the image to make it simple and easy for you. Make sure you know how to use the tools and set the best resolution when you want to print it out. That's all from me. Thank you.
The full name for Lightroom is Adobe Photoshop Lightroom. That which may sound confusing because it contains the word Photoshop, but in a way it makes sense because Lightroom can be considered a subset of Photoshop with specific functionality that Photoshop does not and probably will never have. A main purpose of managing a large number of images, keeping them organized in one place. As images are imported, Lightroom has built-in functionality to add additional information to each image, allowing you to tag image with specific keywords, flags, and stars. This type of tagging and indexing is not available in Photoshop.
The two programs do share many similarities and are both widely used by the photography community. They serve a unique purpose and are quite different in the same very major way. At the core level, both programs do essentially the same thing: edit image. Both are capable of handling multiple types such as JPEG, PNG, TIFF, and a perennial favorite of many photographers is RAW. Photoshop and Lightroom use the Adobe Camera Raw to processing engine to handle RAW files. Both programs also feature an extensive set of editing and manipulation tools such as basic edits like cropping and adjusting exposure to advanced iterations. However, they are also quite different from each other. The most significant ways in which Lightroom is different from Photoshop is that it does not actually edit photos nor does it. When we apply some type of edit like a radial filter or adjustment brush, Lightroom is actually keeping a log of the alterations in a database while leaving the original image intact.
We talk about difference between workflow, Lightroom and Photoshop. Further, a file option aside the trump card that Lightroom has over its big brothers involves its end-to-end workflow solution for photographers since its design significantly addresses the needs of photography enthusiasts and professionals. It's handle everything from importing photos from your memories to organizing, editing, sharing, and finally printing them. Lightroom has support for keyword virtual folder to help you keep track of your image, and you can even use it to create a slideshow or photo books. On the other end of spectrum in Photoshop, which doesn't transfer file, won't organize your image, and certainly that makes slideshow or photo books, but again, it's all about the trends of you're willing to accept.
The key difference between Adobe Lightroom and Photoshop is that in their editing tools. We will begin with Lightroom, and you can see some difference in the layout. Just starting off, if you're familiar with Photoshop, and one of the main one is that there's no layer panel available in Lightroom, so everything that we do on the photo is just adjusted right on the top, and it's all kind of non-destructive, especially if we shoot raw. Photoshop let us to create different layer on which our editing actually take place, while Lightroom work in a much more linear fashion with no layer. Professional photo editor working with layer give them infinitely more control over exactly how they edit their photo.
Adobe Photoshop and Adobe Lightroom have its own functionality and also good for editing photo and to create a design. Lightroom can handle the majority of editing, helping to create and streamline workflow. Then, when retouching is needed, Photoshop steps in and finishes the job. Just two powerful programs that are equally well suited for different tasks. Before you're printing out, make sure you save it with a correct format to get better resolution. Give a try, you won't regret.